In this video, I'm going to tell you how to build an offense that can actually score touchdowns against even the best defenses in college football 25. Now, over the past few years, I've built some of the best offenses in the game that have dominated online and helped me win tens of thousands of dollars. And in this video, I'm just going to break down literally everything that I've done that's been successful for me, and hopefully it's going to help you. So, if you want to score more touchdowns, which means win more games, this video is probably for you. In college football 25, not every formation is created equally, and in fact, I would say a lot of formations aren't even that good. So let's talk about what we first need when it comes to having a good formation. And keep in mind, we're going to be working out of the TCU offensive playbook. And I'm going to focus on the gun, normal, wild, close formation. Because this formation became very popular this year. And it's because it checks a lot of these like important boxes, okay? So first thing we're going to talk about is the idea of pass protection, of blocking. If you do not have this, even though it's not very hot, it's not one play touchdown. If you do not have blocking, guess what? It doesn't matter how many touchdowns you have on the field. You're just going to get sacked over and over and over again. So when it comes to blocking, there's three things that I always typically try to look for in a formation that I want to be one of my main formations. I want to have a scheme out of, okay? The first of which is really easy, and a lot of formations check this box, which is simply having a halfback who we can block. So in this case, in gun, normal, wild, close, we can either actually just like have a stock play where our halfback's blocking, or press Y or triangle, bring up that hot route screen. We're going to select the running back and then right trigger. Okay, that's going to give him pass blocking. Now, in here, or for this one, a lot of formations have this, right? Pretty much any that has a halfback, you're going to be able to block the halfback. That's a good step one to blocking. Step two, we start narrowing this down a lot, which is the idea of we need to block a tight end. We need the ability to block a tight end ideally. Now, if we look at a formation like, let's say, spread Y slot, can we block a tight end in spread Y slot? No, my tight end can't be blocked, right? He's a slot wide receiver. There's not even an actual tight end here. So this formation, for me, immediately kind of gets ruled out as a main formation. Doesn't mean you can't run this a little bit, and there's definitely exceptions to this rule, but a little bit tougher because you're a little bit more limited in your pass protection. We go to gun, normal, wild, close, and guess what? You know what we can do? We can block our tight end. Now, the style of blitzing that the block tight end really helps against is anything that's like an overload of overload style blitz. So right here, we have 6 people on the line of scrimmage, and then we have our user. A lot of people online will try running this style of blitz, which is very aggressive and just trying to overload the offensive line. Keep in mind, this blocking segment is a lot more relevant for online play than offline play. So just something, a little tidbit here. With that being said, the way I like to block the style blitz is actually not to block my halfback because he just doesn't do a great job. He'll get shedded fast. He's starting so far back that he'll get like kind of pushed into the quarterback even if he does block. I like to block my tight end and then ID the mic, hold left bumper, press Air X, and go over the mic on the opposite of the tight end. So block tight end, ID the mic on the end opposite of the tight end. And now we snap this ball, and you'll see we get a pretty good pocket, especially for the fact that they sent 6 people. Then it's just about route combos, which we're not talking about yet. Now, if I were to block my halfback instead of my tight end, he can do a decent job, and right there he actually does. But a lot of times the halfbacks can be a little bit stupid in pass protection, and they'll just get shedded really fast. It's just not my favorite thing. So I want to block that tight end and then ID the mic opposite of him. And typically for me, we've had a lot of success. Also, our halfback is really good on wheel routes against these overload style blitzes. So, third thing, right? We have blocking a halfback. We have blocking the tight end. Third thing is going to be the idea of having some play action plays, okay? This usually is represented by the word PA in the beginning of any play name. So right here we have PA snag, which we're going to talk about this some later. But play action can be really good for a couple of reasons. One, it's great at just kind of negating a really good pass rush. It can just help go up against that. And two, it can help against any kind of loop blitzes. So right here, let's go PA snag, and let's go call the play cross 3 fire. Now this right here, we're going to focus on Martin. All right, I'm actually going to audible away from PA snag for a second and just show you a normal play. So this is a normal drop back play. Watch that left middle linebacker right here. He's going to loop around, and he gets picked up, but notice he does loop. And you've probably seen these loop blitzes come free quite a bit, right? Notice what happens this time if we run play action. That loop isn't going to be as aggressive, And instead, it's getting it picked up much easier. Notice how right there, Martin didn't loop nearly as much. He kind of just attacked the guard. So on play action plays, they do a way better job against loop blitzes, which is a very popular thing. And this is something that happens pretty much every year, by the way. So it's a little like thing you keep in mind always. Blocking, while it's not sexy, if you cannot block, you cannot play offense. And that's why I think this is one of the most important things in the game. If a formation did not have any play action, it'd be very tough for me to argue that I should be running this ever, right? Something like tight open, there's no real play action here, right? And you also can't block a tight end here. So the formation tight open, it can be cool for a couple of things here and there, but as a main formation, I think it's tough. And really quick, if you want full schemes that'll actually help you start winning more games, you can join over 2,000 active members on my website, civil.gg. And even for somebody who wants to build an entire scheme on their own, you can take what we've already done and just use that as a bit of a template and a building, kind of almost building blocks for what you can do in your own offense, or just take the same formations and just build upon those. We have a code right now for 30% off, which is code CIVIL30, and the link to that is in the top of the description. Over 98% of people who join our website say they've won more games since joining. So next up, I want to talk about the idea of routes and really just going over the concept of unique routes, because not every formation has access to all the best routes in the game. So here, I want to talk about the best ones that I always try to have in my offenses, and one that actually we don't even have in the gun normal while off close, because remember, there's no formation in the game that gives you literally everything. So first one I want to talk about is the speed out. Now the speed out is essentially a route that you can only hot route when you have a receiver that's basically listed as an outside wide receiver or a flanker. So right here, Beck on my left side, he can get this hot route. We're gonna press Y or triangle, select him with X and go left on the left stick and get the speed out. Then I'm gonna stem him up about 10 to 15 yards. This route is really, really good at just pestering an opponent. And a route this powerful, you want in your arsenal. Now, look at my right side. If I try doing the out route and stem him up, notice the difference in cuts between the left out route and the right out route. The left side's very curved. The right side is a hard cut. We want what's on the left. This right side just isn't as good, in my opinion, for the most part. A little bit harder to catch, a little bit harder to beat, man coverage and zone with. So we want this deep speed out from an outside wide receiver. Not every formation can do this. Let's look at something like gun tight open. Okay, nobody here can do this. Everyone just gets regular out routes. Okay, everyone just gets those, and so you can't even get them, right? And that actually eliminates one of the most powerful routes in the game. So for me, it's like, oh, gun tight open, probably not going to be a main formation. Doesn't mean there's not good stuff in it though. Keep that in mind. We're talking just main formation type stuff. Next one I want to talk about is the short post. This is one that people get confused on a lot, but it's very, very big. Let's go here, and we're going to look at this post route from our outside left wide receiver. Just look at him right now. Now, you can actually hot route posts, but they're a little bit different. Let's hot route this post. Let's put a hot routed post on the left side. Bang. A little visual bug. Wait. There we go. So you might not notice a major difference, but there is a massive change in how this guy is cutting right here. He's cutting much further at an angle upward, running towards the safety. Whereas if we go here, this is the original post route on the left side. He's cutting much further down. It's a lot more flat. And let me kind of show you an example where this would make sense to be useful in. Okay, let's watch X right here. This is the original post. We're able to throw him, and we're able to get underneath that safety. Right, we all see we got underneath the safety. Here, I'm going to put him on a hot routed post. Try to throw it. Bang. Much harder to get underneath that safety, and that time we actually end up dropping the ball. A flat, short post is really, really useful in your offense for getting underneath deep blues, which are essentially like any kind of, the deep thirds, deep inside quarters, deep halves. Very useful, and they beat man coverage way better because they're running a little bit more horizontal, which is a big way of beating man, okay? You want short posts in your offense. It's a very, very big deal. Next one I want to talk about is any kind of short corner route, which we have here in Flood H post. And so look at this. This is a stock short corner where he's going to cut really sharp. If I put him on a hot route corner, notice how much deeper that route cuts. Whereas here, this is a short corner. This is one of those big time stock routes. Same with this post route on this play, actually. This play has, look, I'll hot route him onto a post. He's going to cut just a lot. Whoops. He's going to cut a lot deeper a lot more at an upward angle than his original post route does, which is this right here. So those are two more unique routes that I really try to have in every offense that I have or that I run. That, again, you're not going to have everything, but it is important that you have some of these because it makes an offense a lot more justifiable to run. Another big one here is going to be the return route, which we actually don't have, but we do have a return route in the formation next door. So return routes are essentially backwards zigs, and I hate that I don't have one in gun normal wild close. I really do. These return routes are very, very good. Great at beating man coverage, great at beating zone coverage. Just very annoying to defend against. And you don't really have to be a genius to run these at a pretty high level. I hate that I don't have this in the gun normal wild close. But that's another unique route where if you get it in your formation, it's going to do some pretty good things for you. A couple more examples of this would be like a unique fade route, which like right here on mesh spot, we have this fade from Beck. This is a lot different than a normal fade. You can obviously tell that one. And that's great for takeoff, pushing the defense deeper, a little bit faster. You can attack the seams with these stock fades a lot better. So mesh spot has that. We also see that same fade route on Y sail on the right wide receiver. Deep corner routes from the tight end. That can be a very unique route as well. Stock zigs can be cool. Not everyone gets a zig route, or stock zigs for the most part people get, but you don't have to hot route it, which can be nice. Just these routes that are both good and unique add a lot of value to a formation, especially when that formation can also block at a high level. So it's time to get into some play calling here, and this can be a very, very big one for a lot of people. If you don't have this, I think you're going to struggle a ton. It's the idea of a power play on offense. Now here, I'm going to use gun normal wild close, and I'm going to call this play Y sail. What a power play is, I'm going to run this for a second a few times. A power play is something that, regardless of the coverage that the defense is in, whether they're in man, zone, or match, you can call this play and you're going to have receivers get open and you're able to execute, okay? Doesn't matter how good the play is. If for some reason you can't execute it, who cares, right? It doesn't matter if you can't execute. It's all about execution. So with this right here, the goal for me is that against random defenses in practice mode, can I consistently hit different receivers and find them open? And so far, I think I've hit 3 different receivers. And you'll see throughout this, we're going to hit quite a few different guys. Right, corner route right there, able to hit him above. Oh, I should have highballed him. He was open. Right there, that's an execution issue, and that's where it's like, okay, I need to get a little bit better. We're at corner route. We're going to have him wide open. Beautiful. I'm a hurdle. Awesome. Power plays are vital, and ideally, you have at least 2 to 3 of these. These are plays that they'll make up a good amount of your play calls, especially against defenses that you're having issues against, because you're able to use them against everything. You're so confident in them. You're able to execute them so well. Corner route again. We're able to get that. I believe we've hit everybody besides the fade on the outside, which is just more of a shot play type route. So for this play in Y sail, we're just going to drag our left slot wide receiver, and then we're going to custom stem this corner route down for the tight end. So it looks like this right here. Here's our play art, and when we snap this ball, we're going to immediately look for the halfback. We're going to move our eyes up, but then we're going to move our eyes back very quickly to see the drag in that little seam. Do this again, just 2 simple hot routes. Play looks like this. Snap it. And not there. Cool. I could have hit the drag as well. I just didn't. I had a couple of different options right there. So the idea again behind a power play, able to execute this at a high level, very high success rate for you. You're gonna beat the majority of defenses. Let's showcase another kind of power play here. And this is actually one that I ran a lot inside of my Georgia scheme on Civil.gg, which is out of exit PA wheel shot in gun wing trip. So a little bit different. We're gonna call this right here. And actually, for the sake of this, we'll just simply put this guy on a drag. And the play looks like this now. And this isn't the best kind of power play in the world. And I just got baited by a defensive end. There's a little bit more to the setup, but in a nutshell, this is what it kind of looks like. And I love this because we're going to do a good job against man and zone coverage, making this one of my power plays because I'm also able to execute it at a very high level. Now, of course, you can always kind of do little things here and there as well. And you can kind of take a power play and maybe you add a zig route to it. Maybe you add a deep out route or something like that. And that can still be your power play and you're able to freestyle from it a bit. So let's talk about actual route combos and like just the different areas of the field that we need to be able to attack. I'll show you some ways here. This segment, we might go over a lot of things here kind of quickly. So feel free to rewatch this, screenshot, whatever you need to do. First thing we want to be able to do when it comes to attacking different areas of the field is both sidelines, okay? Right here, we have a nice short corner route, which we talked about earlier, going to the right sideline. So in this play now opens up us attacking the right sideline in and of itself, just this play alone, right? I have no idea if we're going to get open right here. Beautiful, we do. Now they have to respect the right sideline. We all agree? Okay. Well, remember, we also always have the ability to put this guy on an out route and custom stem him up. Guess what? Now we're able to attack the left sideline. That doesn't mean it's always open. That just means we're able to apply the threat of attacking that left sideline to the defense, okay? Does that make sense? Right here, like he wasn't open. I think, actually, I missed the read to B. I was staring down X. Just I'm talking and doing too much. But you get the idea. So we want to be able to attack both sidelines, whether it's corner routes, speed outs, however it might be. I love speed outs and short corners for this method, okay? The other thing I want to be able to do is attack the short seam quickly, okay? The short seam quickly. A way I might do this is with drag routes and halfback streaks. So right here, let me put up this route combo for a second. Now we have this. We have halfback streak attacking this right seam, and we have the tight end drag attacking actually the left seam. Because if I throw this drag right here, where'd he catch that? The left seam, just a short left seam, okay? So we go here again, streak, flat, drag. Now we're attacking that right seam. Notice how fast I'm able to get this off. Remember, I'm also able to combine this with some good blocking. I'm also able to combine this route combo with sometimes attacking the sideline. Now, what can we do on the left side here? Well, what if I put this guy on a speed out? And then I'd put Y on a streak right here just to get a nice little clear out route. Now we have a good route combo. We're attacking that right seam. He's open. A's open. We have X being open. We had a lot of things open right there, right? So now I'm combining attacking the short seams with attacking the sideline on the left side, okay? So short seams, big. Attacking the sidelines, very, very big. Another area of the field that we can attack with is the quick seam. So what I mean by this is usually like some kind of slot receiver or tight end on a streak. And it is something that you want people to have to respect. You will not find this open all the time. But like, let's say, for example, right here, see if we can get it, where you're able to hit like this area of the field. That can be a really annoying part of the field to defend. So that's kind of the quick seam is what I call it. Next part I want to be able to attack at a high level is going to be something attacking the middle of the field a little bit deeper. That's where like an outside post route can be very nice, like in the play PA snag. Notice some of those things, or notice this formation is very popular because it combines a lot of those really good things that we've talked about so far. So we have this outside post route. Well, this is going to do a good job attacking the middle of the field, a little bit of a deeper depth, and we've already shown how he can do a good job attacking underneath deep blues. So now, just like that, we're able to combine it in a bunch of different things. We're able to attack the short seams. We're able to attack the quick seam vertically. We're able to attack both sidelines. And we're able to attack the kind of deep intermediate middle as well. And just like that, we're able to add in some good blocking. We're able to add in some of those unique routes, which allow us to do this. And here, we have some good route combos now on our field. And we're able to start building an actual offense. Now, one of my favorite things in every offense is having some sort of like gotcha plays. So this right here is another great example of it, where we're in the gun normal while close, but we have a jet touch pass. And this jet touch pass is just one of those things that if you've played against it, you know how annoying they can be. It's just a great thing where like your opponent's worried about so many other things, right? Great route combos, they can't blitz you, whatever. And you added something like this, which is actually pretty effective. And it's I always call it like a gotcha. Like, haha, you weren't expecting this. And now you have to struggle defending this as well. These types of plays, the jet touch passes, can also take the form of like option plays, like speed options. It can also be like a read option, technically it could be. It could be like the double pass, like you'll see inside of some playbooks, or some kind of trick play. But usually the main one you'll see is like a jet touch pass because they're so effective, right? And this is very important to have in an offense because this can also bail you out of certain situations. Let's say you're playing against a defense that you can't find anything open, or you just can't get into a rhythm as a passer. Well, this right here can really open that up if you have some gotcha type stuff. Sometimes though, it's okay if you don't have gotcha stuff in your main formation. You can audible to it, but it's always nicer when you can do it from your main formation because you're able to make things all look kind of the same. We haven't talked about this yet, but it is important. The run game is a big thing. You need to have a run game because it's one of those things that takes a lot of stress off of you as a user. Even if you're somebody who you don't want to run the ball, you need to at least have an okay run game because you need the help as an offensive player. You can't pass the ball 50 times a game. That's a real thing in real life. Even offensive coordinators who don't want to run the ball, their quarterback needs them to run the ball sometimes, right? So in this one, we don't have the best run game ever. We did talk about the touch pass, which is kind of an extension of the run game, But we have a read option here, and we have an inside zone, which both of these can do pretty well. They're not my favorite things in the world. Usually we want to look for is inside zones, read options, or if you could find them, duo runs. Something like the gun bunch offset strong duo is really, really good. Same with the, I believe it's the quads out of the Alabama playbook. Also has a duo, really, really good. So do some other formations too. Those are great. But goal here being is that if you have no run game at all, it's something where you've just got to be a little weary of because it's just hard to pass the ball every single play, right? And there is a lot more risk passing than there is running, you know? It's less likely you'll fumble than probably throw a pick. Right here, we're in practice mode, we're getting shedded. This run is decent. We're getting dominated by Clemson. I can't lie, they are just dominating us. But you kind of get the idea. That run game is so, wow. Having a good run game is very, very important. I had another run in here, didn't I say? Read option, yeah. And just making them respect that, right? Making them have to actually, like, respect that you could run the ball. That's a big deal. Especially if you're run heavy, obviously. If you're run heavy, then you really need a run game. But yeah, it's an important thing. If you follow everything we talked about here, you're going to have the foundation for building an overpowered offense. It's going to win you a lot more games. Now, if you want full schemes on the offensive side of the ball and defense as well, but focusing on offense right now, check out my website, civil.gg. You'll be joining over 2,000 active members, 98% of whom say they've won more games since joining. You use code CIVIL30 right now and get a cool 30% off just by clicking the link in the top of the description. So go check that out.